Part 36.3 Surah Ya-Sin, the heart of the Quran. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Sufi Essence with Hammad Syed. Having concluded the profound, somber analysis of those whose hearts are sealed by arrogance and disbelief in the previous section, those who are spiritually immobile due to their self-imposed shackles and barriers, Surah Ya-Sin now transitions with luminous grace to the vital and crucial distinction between the perpetually defiant soul and the genuinely receptive, humble seeker. This significant segment, encompassing verses 11 through 15, consciously shifts the thematic focus away from the challenging imagery of spiritual rigidity to concentrate on the essential, active characteristics of true believers and the overwhelming, immeasurable value of their faith. Simultaneously, it introduces a powerful, vivid narrative, the illuminating and sobering story of the people of the city and their messengers, which functions as a potent historical parallel and a dramatic reinforcement of the warnings that were just delivered. This ancient tale is designed as a direct, urgent lesson for the Makkans, who were then rejecting the final prophet, Muhammad, peace be upon him. And it remains an eternal source of profound ilm for all subsequent generations who seek spiritual clarity and truth. Our comprehensive discourse must be expansive, drawing rich and detailed context from every facet of the narrative, to ensure that every meticulously chosen word articulates a new dimension of knowledge, immersing the listener in the dramatic, high-stakes tension between divine prophecy and human rejection. We shall meticulously unwrap the secrets encoded in this ancient recurring tale, demonstrating the continuous, unbroken thread of prophetic history and the unerring, impeccable nature of divine justice. Ar-Rahman, Quran, Surah Ya-Sin, the heart of the Quran, chapter 36. Verse 11. You warn only him who follows the remembrance and fears Ar-Rahman, the most compassionate without seeing, to give him the glad tidings of forgiveness and a graceful reward. The 11th verse acts as a spiritual bridge, offering an immense source of consolation and clarity to the prophet, peace be upon him. After the discouraging reality of mass rejection was acknowledged, it meticulously defines the spiritual profile of the individual who genuinely benefits and profits from the revelation. You warn only him who follows the remembrance and fears Ar-Rahman, the most compassionate without seeing, so give him the glad tidings of forgiveness and a graceful reward. The verse specifies two essential, active, and non-negotiable spiritual qualities that define true receptivity and success. Firstly, the soul must be one who follows the remembrance man itabo zikr. Here, remembrance zikr primarily refers to the Quran itself, the ultimate reminder, the source of all divine law, and the definitive criterion for truth. This is an active, demanding choice, requiring deliberate obedience, dedicated study, profound application, and unyielding adherence to the revealed ilm. It stands in direct, complete opposition to the gafless spiritual unawareness mentioned earlier. Secondly, the receptive soul is one who fears Ar-Rahman, the most compassionate without seeing. This describes true, elevated piety, deep trembling fear khashiyah, that is not driven by the visible, immediate terror of punishment, but by an inner, profound reverence, awe, and love for the unseen Creator, who is explicitly named here as the Al-Compassionate. The use of Ar-Rahman, the Al-Compassionate, in the very context of fear is deeply moving and theologically significant. It is a fear born of overwhelming awe and love, realizing that even the most merciful and bountiful being holds the ultimate, sovereign, and irresistible power. Such a person, exhibiting this rare combination of active adherence and unseen reverence, is deemed worthy of the highest spiritual recompense, the glad tidings of forgiveness maghfirah, which signifies the complete erasure of past faults and an immensely graceful reward, Quran Kareem. This graceful reward refers to paradise, described as graceful because it is given not as a strict, transactional payment for inherently imperfect deeds, but as an overwhelming gratuitous gift flowing ceaselessly from Allah's boundless generosity, favor, and acceptance. This verse shifts the focus entirely from the futility of warning the sealed hearts to the profound success, validation, and spiritual certainty of those who actively seek, recognize, and embrace the truth. Ar-Rahman, Quran, Surah Ya-Sin, the heart of the Quran, chapter 36, verse 12. Indeed, we shall revive the dead, and record all that they sent before and their traces. And we have compiled the account of everything in a manifest record. The 12th verse provides a powerful, multi-layered, expansive declaration of Allah's absolute, non-negotiable sovereignty and the inescapable reality of the resurrection and reckoning. Directly addressing the core philosophical doubt and mockery of the Makkans, indeed, we shall revive the dead and record all that they sent before and their traces. And we have compiled the account of everything in a manifest record. The opening phrase, we shall revive the dead, is an authoritative and unchallengeable answer to the deniers who found the mere idea of resurrection absurd. It demonstrates that the same unlimited power that initiated creation from nothing can effortlessly restore it from dust. More profoundly, the verse reveals the meticulous, comprehensive nature of the divine accounting. Allah records not only all that they sent before, meaning their direct explicit deeds, the immediate acts, intentions, and explicit actions performed during their physical lifetime, but also their traces, Aathar. This concept of Aathar is exceptionally rich in philosophical and spiritual L. It refers to the enduring, residual, and often invisible impact, the ongoing consequences, and the continuous spiritual ripple effect of a person's life that continues to influence the world long after their physical death. This includes both positive, ongoing legacies, like establishing a charitable institution, spreading beneficial ilm, nurturing righteous children who pray for them, or setting a good example, in negative continuous legacies, like establishing a path of misguidance, leaving behind harmful traditions, or spreading corruption. This eternal and comprehensive recording is kept in the manifest record of Mamun Mubin, the ultimate, protected, and infallible celestial ledger of the cosmos. This revelation serves as a profound, comprehensive ethical guide for the believer, emphasizing that a life of sincere faith must not only be virtuous in the immediate present, but must also be consciously and diligently designed to leave a lasting, positive spiritual footprint on the world, ensuring a continuous stream of reward even after the physical self has passed from this ephemeral existence. Ganzul, Iman Quran, Surah Ya-Sin, the heart of the Quran. Chapter 36, verse 13. And relate to them the description of the people of the city, when the messengers came to them. With the spiritual criteria for salvation and the certainty of the divine accounting firmly established, the narrative now shifts decisively to an urgent historical lesson designed to penetrate the hardened hearts of the contemporary deniers and relate to them the description of the people of the city, and when the messengers came to them. This verse formally initiates the famous, crucial parable of the people of the city Al-Qarya, a powerful, concise narrative meant to draw a direct, unmissable parallel between the past generation who summarily rejected their messengers and the critical contemporary situation of the Makkans who were relentlessly rejecting the Prophet, peace be upon him. The intentional ambiguity of the city, which scholars often link to Antioch, allows the essential moral and spiritual lesson to resonate universally, applicable to any community across any epoch. It receives and then willfully rejects divine guidance. The command to the Prophet, peace be upon him, to relate to them underscores the timeless, authoritative educational methodology of the Quran, learning through devastating historical example. This is an immediate, dramatic, urgent warning. The Makkans are not unique in their arrogance and disbelief, and their fate, unless they change their course, will inevitably mirror the fate of those who preceded them, highlighting the recurring, unchanging, and just pattern of humanity's engagement with prophecy. The introduction of this story sets a dramatic and tension-filled tone, emphasizing the sheer effort and divine patience involved in sending the messengers and the communal, arrogant, and unified denial of the city inhabitants. Kanzel Iman, Quran, Surah Ya-Sin, the heart of the Quran. Chapter 36, verse 14. When we sent 2 messengers towards them, so they denied them both. Then we strengthened them with a third. So they said, Indeed, we are messengers towards you. The 14th verse delves directly into the specific escalating events of the parable, revealing the immense divine patience and the systematic escalating measures of grace shown to the misguided city when we sent 2 messengers towards them. So they denied them both. Then we strengthened them with a third. So they said, Indeed, we are messengers towards you. The initial, gracious dispatch of 2 messengers demonstrates Allah's deep concern and profound desire for the guidance of this community, offering a powerful, double testimony of truth. The immediate, categorical denial of both messengers by the inhabitants highlights the ingrained spiritual corruption, the deep-seated communal obstinacy, and the quickness to reject that characterized the city's populace. Crucially, instead of immediately enacting punishment or withdrawal of mercy, Allah sent a third messenger to strengthen and reinforce the first two, providing overwhelming, undeniable corroboration of the message. This magnificent act exemplifies the limitless patience in Ar-Rahman's continuous escalating attempts to reach the people with grace before the final decree of justice is passed. The combined three messengers then delivered their united, unambiguous, and final declaration, "Indeed, we are messengers towards you." This public, formal, and fortified statement of divine authority is designed to remove all possible loopholes, confusion, or legitimate claim of ignorance by the city dwellers. The remarkable fact that Allah sends three messengers for a single community. While the Makkans are vehemently rejecting the solitary, final, and most exalted prophet, peace be upon him, subtly yet powerfully intensifies the guilt and the gravity of the Makkans' denial. The entire progression of the story underscores that the rejection was not of a lone, isolated individual, but of a persistent, fortified, and escalating divine delegation. Kanzul Iman, Quran, Surah Ya-Sin, the heart of the Quran, chapter 36, verse 15. They said, "You are but human beings like us." And Ar-Rahman, the most compassionate, has not sent down anything, are only lying. The 15th verse immediately presents the central, classic, and highly destructive objection raised by the people of the city, a skepticism that fundamentally and tragically mirrors the very arguments being employed by the Makkans against the Prophet. "Peace be upon him," they said, "you are but human beings like us. And Ar-Rahman, the most compassionate, has not sent down anything. You're only lying." This threefold rejection encapsulates the core, recurring errors of all systematic disbelief. First, the foundational objection of humanity, Bashariyyah, "You are but human beings like us," is a perpetual intellectual and spiritual stumbling block for deniers. They fail completely to grasp the profound wisdom that the messenger's humanity is absolutely essential for demonstrating how divine guidance can be practically, perfectly, and successfully lived out in the temporal world. They foolishly demand an angel, yet reject the indispensable human example that would truly benefit and save them. Second, they categorically deny the very concept of revelation. Why? Ar-Rahman, the most compassionate, has not sent down anything, thereby denying Allah's active intervention, communication, and benevolent involvement with humanity. They reject the very idea of Tanzil sending down. Third, they resort to the simplest, most arrogant, and definitive form of dismissal. "You are only lying." This malicious accusation of fabrication is the ultimate spiritual closure, confirming their total, ingrained unwillingness to engage rationally, humbly, or sincerely with the truth. They paradoxically invoke the name Ar-Rahman, only to deny his power and capacity to send revelation, showing a perverse and tragic misuse of the very name of divine grace. This profound, deliberate parallel between the historical city dwellers and the contemporary Makkans is direct, urgent, and designed to make the listeners recognize their own disastrous and pending path, demonstrating the unchanging, destructive pathology of spiritual denial across all time. Hadith. This section introduces the crucial story of the messengers who were rejected based on their shared human nature and the inherent disbelief in the possibility of divine revelation to humans. In light of the severe rejection faced by the messengers in the Makkans' denial, we recall a hadith that speaks to the absolute patience and unwavering commitment required by the Prophet, peace be upon him, and all believers who carry the difficult message of Allah, even when faced with overwhelming denial. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught, "No prophet was ever harmed in the cause of Allah as much as I was harmed, and no prophet feared Allah as much as I did. And there passed over me 30 days and nights, and I had no food that a living soul having a liver could eat, except what little Billow had kept under his armpit." Tirmidhi Hadith, number 2472. This hadith, recorded by Imam Tirmidhi, underscores the immense suffering, hardship, and dedicated perseverance exhibited by the Prophet, peace be upon him, in the face of rejection, a struggle far greater than that experienced by previous messengers. It directly contrasts the arrogant ease with which the people of the city dismissed their messengers. By vividly recalling his own trials, including prolonged periods of hunger during the Meccan persecution, the Prophet, peace be upon him, provided the believers with the necessary, sobering perspective. The path of prophecy and bearing the truth is paved with profound difficulty, and rejection is an expected, though painful, part of conveying the divine message. This narrative powerfully encourages the believers to emulate his unflinching steadfastness, confirming that their efforts, despite resistance, are validated and supremely rewarded, particularly when their focus is on guiding those who follow the remembrance and fear Ar-Rahman with genuine inner piety. Let us now supplicate, drawing from the profound lessons of these verses, asking Allah to grant us a deeper understanding and to guide our every step. O Allah, our protector and guide, make us of those who follow the remembrance with sincere dedication and who fear Ar-Rahman in the unseen, granting us the graceful reward you have eternally promised. Let our deeds and the enduring profound traces, Aathar, of our lives remain a constant source of continuous good after our departure, and safeguard us fiercely from the stubborn, fatal disbelief of the people of the city. Fortify our faith against the temptation to reject your truth based on the frail humanity of the messengers. Grant us the profound wisdom to recognize your tanzil and the ultimate humility to submit to your sacred decree, so that our lives may be fully compiled in the manifest record as complete acts of sincere devotion. May Allah illuminate your heart and mind with the light of this divine ilm. May He make your channel a beacon of guidance for all who seek spiritual clarity and truth. May your efforts be a source of immense reward, and may you be granted the highest stations of paradise. May the peace and blessings of Allah always be upon you and your loved ones. May He grant you unwavering steadfastness on the path of truth, and may your work be a testament to His magnificent names, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Amin.